Call it what you want, but I do not believe a woman who is out of shape deserves to be in a relationship. When it comes to love, there are rules one must abide by, and the first one is love thy neighbor as you love yourself. So if you cannot love yourself enough to make sure you are physically fit, emotionally fit, spiritually fit, baby, you are not qualified to love anybody else. Feel how you want.
A woman who's out of shape doesn't deserve to be in a relationship.
That's tough. I mean, I think
It's a bold statement.
it is. I think to a degree there is like validity in that. For the most part, there's
Wait, are you saying that there's validity to
two
people's inability to lose weight and having an excuse for it?
not having an excuse. I think there's just like, for example, I can eat anything, go to the gym, and be fine, right? But someone else doing exactly what I'm doing, they're gonna gain 5 pounds a week. So
That's true, but I want to actually focus on what she said. She said that women that are out of shape don't deserve to be in a relationship. You think she said that for shock value? You haven't seen this video. I started looking at her other content. She didn't say it for shock value. She actually believes this, which I think is wild. Like, I see what she's trying to say. You want to take care of yourself. You want to bring your best self when it comes to your partner, your relationship, and you want to be around for your kids. However, to say that because you're out of shape, you don't deserve a relationship, that's crazy. You can find someone and you both get healthy together. You know what I mean?
absolutely. And then in other instances, there's people that also just may not have a preference to someone that's like a gym rat. So, general health, I get it, but yeah, I wouldn't say I agree with that statement full-heartedly. It's kind of a very, very like all or nothing type of scenario, in my opinion.
She's getting a lot of backlash.
What are the comments?
Yeah, I think the
That's a better question.
I'll show you the comments, but all or nothing is crazy. It's like you can't. I mean, the fact is, especially in the Western world, a lot of people are overweight. So you got to be able to meet people where they're at.
Yeah, I agree.
Not to give people excuses to stay there, because I think ultimately we want to be healthy, but there's all types of sizes.
Yeah, I think it's more about growing together versus, hey, you can't be in a relationship if you're not healthy. I think it's more of like, if that other half brings you to be healthier, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So
You are in shape.
you so ugly for this.
You are in shape and still not married. The internet is ruthless.
Everyone deserves to be in a happy, healthy relationship, regardless of size. And this is coming from a slim woman. Who are you to set the standard of depriving someone of a relationship because of their size?
I agree with that.
Get off your high horse. Disgusting.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Listen, and this is coming from two dudes that actually work out daily. Homegirl, relax.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the views for sure, but there's got to be some type of nuance within that statement.
Exactly. In my opinion, I think if the majority of the world thought like that, there'd be more people with mental health problems and death and pressure from that type of mentality to where they just hate their life.
100%. And no one would be in a relationship.
Being fit doesn't equal loving yourself.
Ooh, okay.
That's a very good.
Well, she said being fit doesn't equal loving yourself, and she responded, what would you relate it to? Mind you, this is someone who takes time out the day to move their body, eat intentionally, implement discipline, self-control, and consistency when they could just eat any and everything, then sit on their behind and do nothing, which results in weight gain. Please tell me what you would equate physical fitness to. Everyone knows being physically fit costs you something most aren't willing to do. This is why 890 million people. This is why 890 million people are obese. Probably more than that, honestly. What is she?
890 million.
Oh, my bad. I'm remedial shit.
It said 890.
This is why 890 million people are obese.
3 times. I know. I was like, damn.
Bro, sometimes when I read the cadence of like the way other people type, I feel like remedial. Anyways. This is why 890 million people are obese. Probably more than that, honestly.
I would say, man, I could see both sides to that, because to a degree, it's like, if you love yourself enough, you would be.
Yeah, it's a part of it.
Yeah,
it absolutely is a part of it.
But then there's also those people that are like, I don't know if it's justification, but there's people that are like, look, I'm plus size, and they're happy with themselves. There is a a depiction that they present to the world that totally fine. Which I agree. I can kind of see both sides. I don't think I'm on one side or the other with that, but I do feel that like if you're obese and you're aware of it and you're not taking any strides to be healthier, then that's a level of like self-destruction. Like you can't love yourself enough if you're just destroying yourself, knowing that.
Yeah.
You know what
so
I mean?
I think really there's more parts to loving yourself than just
Yeah, correct. I agree
just being fit or taking care of your body. That is a piece of it. But the way that she brings it up in this video, it's like you pretty much are a piece of shit if you are fat.
Yeah.
And that's not a way to actually get through to people. I mean, I guess there can be the David Goggins type of people that, you're fat, you're ugly, you're a piece of shit, and get motivated by it. But most people don't operate that way.
That's a provocative statement, but I like the dialogue that some of these people have on both sides, really.
But yeah, but again, I think there's a way to convey a message without alienating people.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, as she talks about, this is coming from someone who's consistent in the gym, who's disciplined, who has self-control. This is coming from two people who are in the same exact boat. I've been working out since I was 17 years old, and I have not stopped. But yeah, what advice would you give to Deja?
I would say, just like there's long distance runners and just like there's sprinters, there's people that walk two different like paths in essence. But I think the moment that you are presented with a fact of like, hey, you're unhealthy, and then you make a decision, that's where I feel the crossroads is. Not necessarily just like, oh, if you're slim or her definition of what like slim or healthy or whatever, you don't deserve to be in a relationship. I think the statement should be edited to where if you realize that there's a problem like with being unhealthy and you choose not to work on that, then you shouldn't be in a relationship. Because at that point, it's kind of like you're putting yourself in a scenario where you have the expectation that either some random spontaneous thing is going to change in your life and you're with another partner, or you're expecting that partner to motivate you to make that change. I don't think that's I guess it's something that maybe that people can work on, but I think before you get into a relationship, if you're aware that you're unhealthy and you're not doing anything to change it, I think, that's kind of like, I don't know. That's just my take on it. I think it's more of like when you've been presented and aware of something and then you choose not to do it. But that's kind of where I would agree a little bit more with what she's saying, or the sentiment to what she's saying, versus just saying a blanketed statement of if you're unhealthy or not fit, you shouldn't be in a relationship. I don't necessarily agree.
I don't even agree with, even if you're aware of it, you're not worthy of a relationship. Like, I think if you're aware of it, you may find someone else who's also aware of it that's in the same boat. I think all types of people are worthy of a relationship. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
I think that statement's wild.
I kind of see both sides. I know friends that like, hey, you're shortening your life. You're shortening your life. You're shortening your life. It's like, how many times you got to be told you're shortening your life to try and progressively make a change. It's almost a level of selfishness to be told something like that and continue on with the same habit.
Right. And that's a completely different story. But for you to say, or for her to say that you're unworthy of a relationship or love because of your choices when it comes to your health, fitness wise.
I don't agree.
I think I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I think that's too much of it's putting too much pressure on society in such a way that it would make humanity worse. If more people thought like this, it would make humanity way worse.
Yeah, I think she needs to grow up a little bit.
Let's be real. A lot of you guys were offended by my video because you are physically unfit. Over 1 billion people are currently considered obese, knowing all the statistics behind living that life. And even though the video did include other aspects of health and fitness, you guys didn't even get to that part because all you heard was physically fit. And because you're not physically fit, it hit a nerve. How you choose to live your life is your business. If you are a man or a woman and you know that you are physically unfit, that you are not in the best shape that you could possibly be in, or if there's room for growth in your life and yet you are able and unwilling, that is a personal choice. You cannot get mad at somebody else because of something you chose to do. So many of you are upset that I quoted the Bible. However, the Bible is the foundation of which I live my life. So if me applying the teachings from my book of faith has allowed me to look how I look physically, and you applying the teachings of your book of faith or lack thereof has allowed you to look how you look physically, I will always apply the teachings from my book of faith. So if you were to ask me again, do I feel that a person who is physically unfit, emotionally unfit, spiritually unfit, mentally unfit, in every aspect deserves to be in a relationship? No, because if we are given free will and we choose to neglect ourselves by personal choice, what do you think you're going to do to another person?
Hold on, I gotta pause it. She tripled down. One thing I thought of is all of us are fucked up, right? We're all fucked up.
Yeah, we
all have our issues. We all have our vices. We all are unhealed. We all are going through some type of healing journey. And you don't heal in a fucking closet. You heal within relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's actual boyfriend-girlfriend relationships, whether it's whatever. A lot of times in relationships, it's kind of like a mirror reflecting back at you. So a lot of that trauma that you actually have, a lot of the things that you do need to heal, you find it out in relationships. You can't lock yourself in a closet and then expect to come out like you're a freaking Super Saiyan in the hyperbolic time chamber.
That's a good point.
And you learn your lesson. So for you to say you're unworthy, it's like, no, it's part of you actually having some type of a healing journey. Part of your journey as a fucking human is relationships.
Yeah, that's
and for you to say that you're not worthy of that aspect of life until you're fit, we're gonna have a lot of fucked up people out there.
That's a good point. You made a good point, because I think at the end of the day, most times you just like having a coach or team sports or whatnot, you realize like your weaknesses once you're with another person, or once someone else is able to observe like a habit, for example. You might not even know it's a habit until you realize like that person points it out, and it's like, oh shoot, I do need to work on that. Oh shoot, I do need to work on this. But like you not being in a relationship for a set amount of time because the statement that you don't deserve to be in, you may not ever know things that you need to work on. So yeah, that's actually a really great point.
Yeah.
Now that does not mean you're not going to be dating somebody, even though you are neglecting yourself. Because when I was neglecting myself in every aspect of the word, I had a boyfriend at the time.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me rewind that back.
Yeah,
she
contradicted.
She just contradicted herself.
I had a boyfriend at the time.
And he lived his life in the same way that I was living my life. So yes, you will attract a person at that same level that you're at. But the overall purpose of that video was to prioritize self-love, whether you're a man or a woman. It does not matter if you're single or you're in a relationship. Self-love is the foundation for every other thing.
Pause that. I agree with that. Prioritizing self-love, in my opinion, because here's the thing. I have so many friends that like they think they go under the pretense that like they're unhappy and they need a relationship to be happy. And I always tell them like, you actually have to be happy with yourself, because sometimes a relationship isn't going to solve your lack of confidence, or there's certain things where it's like you actually have to love yourself before, in my opinion, before you get into a relationship. I feel that single solitary statement in this whole gambit of what she's saying, I agree with that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that too, but that's not what she said.
Yeah, I'm saying.
She said that if you are not physically fit, you do not deserve to be in a relationship. So maybe she added a little more context right now, but even she said that she was in a relationship, and was she insinuating that she wasn't fit, or she just didn't love herself?
Yeah, I think ultimately she contradicted herself, because it's like you were in a relationship where she wasn't mentally there.
Yeah, but then she's also categorizing dating differently than being in a relationship.
Go back.
It's like, what's the difference?
So if you were to ask me again, do I feel that a person who is physically unfit, emotionally unfit, spiritually unfit, mentally unfit, in every aspect deserves to be in a relationship? No, because if we are given free will and we choose to neglect ourselves by personal choice, what do you think you're going to do to another person? Now, that does not mean you're not going to be dating somebody, even though you are neglecting yourself. Because when I was neglecting myself in every aspect of the word, I had a boyfriend at the time. And he lived his life in the same way that I was living my life.
So wait, that just means you can be in a relationship, you just don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Is that what she's saying?
So I mean, basically, yeah. It's convoluted the way she's putting the statement that dating and relationships are, I guess, two different things that you could essentially date and not so to speak actually be in like a quote unquote relationship based on her definition of what relationship is. But yeah, I don't know. She again, out of all these two videos, the one statement that I agree with, I gotta say is a self-love statement, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much growth that you can have on your own, and especially for people who feel like they constantly need to be in a relationship in order to feel whole.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that may be cause to pause and then try to figure out yourself outside of another human being.
Correct.
But there's layers to it, and that singular statement doesn't articulate that. So we'll just finish out the video.
That you love in your life. So feel how you want, say what you want. Yes, I have braces, I could get veneers, but I want a perfect smile and I want the teeth to be mine. Yes, my brows are bushy, I want thicker brows. Yes, I use a filter, I just got done working out. Sometimes my sunscreen sweats off my face. Who cares? How I live my life should not offend you if you are comfortable and confident with how you live your life. Get the message or keep it pushing. Have a good day.
Yeah. She's kind of like a walking contradiction.
She is a walking contradiction.
With the last statement, it's like, how I live my life shouldn't affect you. So,
Right,
okay.
and who are you to tell?
Based on your statement, it's like you could use that same statement to combat her entire premise.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
She said, how I live my life shouldn't affect you. So if you take that literally that statement and then put it next to her statement of if you're unfit, you shouldn't be worthy of a relationship. How could you make a generalized statement if you just stated that how I live my life? So put it like this: how people live their life shouldn't affect you. So if you think about what her whole entire premise, why would you even be worried about anyone else?
Right, like why did you come online
why?
to say that to everybody else?
Especially if you close with that, it's almost kind of like fuck everything I said before. Like straight up.
Yeah, well, we're gonna close with be more precise with your words, homegirl.